Hey, this is David from Winco, and I want to quickly go over how we go about using a spreadsheet as a database in order to populate our DoD labels using our templates. And the one I'm going to show you is the MSL template, which I have open here in Bartender. And I've formatted this in a particular way. These items you can see here are the various data identifiers that are used in the barcode. The names you see over here are the names of fields that aren't printed on the label itself but are printed in the barcode. And if you take a look at how the barcode is made up, you can see there's a lot of different fields in here. Quite a lot of them are Visual Basic scripts that allow us to only print the information if there's any data in the spreadsheet. So I would hugely recommend that you make a copy of this and keep it in a safe place, because you're probably going to want to modify the MSL template, indeed any of the templates, to suit your application, and it will be good to have the original one to get back to. If I look at the spreadsheet that we're going to use, this is one that came from one of our customers. I've just changed the contract number in here, and it basically has the field names are the names of the fields that are going to be going onto the label itself. So I've got my NSN, my cage code, the contract number, and the CLINs, military preservation, if there's any of that, and the nomenclature, the part number, and then down into the addresses and things like that. So it's going to be very important that you populate the spreadsheet with the data that you're going to be using on your label and put everything in those in the right columns. Don't change the names of the columns. If you do, you'll need to make a corresponding change onto the label template itself, which is not a big deal, but it's just one more job to do. For the templates to work, the spreadsheet has to be closed, so I'm going to save this and close it, and then we'll head back into Bartender and go into the database setup itself. And the database is set up with the little icon that you see here, set up and view databases. And being not very good with databases, I tend to use the connection wizard to do this. So I'm going to click onto Next and choose Excel as my database platform. Next again, and then I can browse for the database that I'm going to use, and it's this one here called 129 datasheet, if I remember correctly. I'm going to click on Open, and there's a little test connection button here. I honestly don't know what it does, but I feel good when it says I've successfully connected to the database. So I'm going to click on OK here, click on to Next, and in this screen I simply choose which of the tables from my workbook I'm going to use, and in this case I'm going to use the first one, the data one that shows up in the tables to use here. So I click on to Finish, and I'm pretty much done here. Now I can just click on OK, and I should have gotten my connection made. And to see if it's working okay, if I now click onto the Print button and go into Select, I've checked off Use Database. I can click on Select Records, and here's my list of all the records that I have in the database. So just click on Cancel there, and if I want to see what my label is going to look like, I can click on Preview, and it takes a couple of seconds. And let's make this a bit larger, and oops, maybe not quite that large. Here's my labels, and this particular job was for 10. I can scroll through the 10 of them. There's not a huge amount of information in some areas. This particular one didn't have a TCN barcode, which is quite unusual for MSLs. And in the bottom section here is where the ultimate consignee address and information would go if there was one of those. But it's really as simple as that. And what you would do if you make any changes to your database, itself, you can open Excel. Let's go back to our original database here. You can make any changes, you can add items, you can save it, and they will appear in your list of entries when you next go into Bartender. Exactly the same thing works for the other labels in the format set. So I think you'll find that if you follow those simple steps, that you're going to be up and running pretty quickly. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.